Oh, that's a personal experience. It's a personal experience. I was in one of the train journeys um, where the train was looted. Uh, the first class compartment, which was just next to my coach, was looted by robbers, by around 25, 30 robbers in the night, and they held up the passengers for 3, 4 hours. They beat them up. They stabbed a couple of them. There was a lot of bleeding, and they tortured them. So, and when I woke up in the morning, that's when I got to know that they had a uh, there was a robbery happening in the next coach. And in my coach, there were almost around some 5, 7 of soldiers who were traveling in my coach, and then they started saying that it was good that the robbers did not attempt coming into our coach. Otherwise, we would have definitely we would have given them what would have shown them what we are made of. So somewhere that kind of an incident remained with me for a very long time. And like I was saying that I wanted to make an action film, and that's when I decided to write a story on this.
Uh, of course, like I've had some experience in action, but the kind of action that we have tried conceiving in this film, I had no idea of. Like this was something else altogether. In terms of training, the training went on for good 7, 8 months, um, and like we trained from everything, just from punching to a man, from slicing somebody's throat. So everything was covered in those 8 months by our legendary action director, Mr. O. He was a massive, massive help, and he held all this action together. We got this guidance under his leadership. Influence, or rather inspired, I would say, because I've been immensely inspired by Rocky Balboa for some reason. I mean, he's a boxing guy, but I mean, yeah, that film, when I saw it, stirred some different emotion in my belly, and it just made me. It just brought me to the edge of my seat, and in my head, I just wanted to beat people like he was for some reason. And yeah, he was my hero while growing up. Like when I looked at him, I felt that, okay, man, this is what I want to be in life. This is how I want to fight people. This is how I want to be a winner in life. So he was just inspiration to another level. And then came Never Back Down. It was a very cool film, like all in the school. Then UFC became a big thing in our city, in our school. That there's a very cool film called Never Back Down, which has come out, and that also inspired me quite a lot. Then John Wick, of course. Like John Wick really changed the game for me. From that day onwards, then my aim was very clear that one day I have to be a part of something similar. If not this cool, then I'm not doing this. And then Cut to Kill happens, and here we are.
Um, Pent up anger, not getting due for so many years, the rage, the anger, trying to prove myself, uh, and then plus COVID happened. So all these things put together, um, I wanted to make an action film which has not been done in India, because uh, actually speaking, there have been a lot of action films of late coming out from India, and somewhere I would not be able to relate with that action, because for me this is something which is not. Uh, they're great in their own spaces, but for me personally, I would not want to make such an action film, and I've been wanting to make an action film for a very long time. Also, it has also to do with a lot to do with my growing up, because I've grown up in a state called Bihar, which is extremely notorious. And when I was growing up, it was a lawless state. Now it's the state of the state is much better. There is a lot of law and order there. But while I was growing up, there was too much of violence all around me. I've met people like Funny. I've met people like Siddhi. I've met people like Beni. They've been all around me while I was growing up. So I've seen this life very close, from a very close quarters. So it was always a dream to make a film which is very different kind of an action film, and somewhere I never felt that, you know, the kind of action films which are being made in India, I could ever do it. I do not have that kind of a talent to make those kind of an action film. So I wanted a very personal story, a story which resonates with me, a story which resonates with a lot of people. And you know, Indian trains is the primary mean of transport for a vast population in India, and that's something which resonates with everyone. So I wanted to, so it's somehow, you know, it was not by design, but you know, I wanted to make an action film, and then that experience, my personal experience from a train travel came into being. Like, so, you know, everything, like, it was almost like a jigsaw puzzle, and then suddenly everything's were falling in place. And yes, of course, the rage and pent-up anger, and trying to prove myself. So all this came together during COVID times, which was so much of insecurity and fear, and not knowing what the future is gonna be like. And it all somewhere found its way onto the paper. So that's how, like, and in true honesty, that's how the genesis of this film is.
インドアカデミー賞5部門受賞、世界が熱狂、ハリウッドリメイクも決定。寝台列車に乗り込んだ武装強盗団、彼らは知らなかった最強の男が乗っていたことを。
ट्रेन से उतरेंगे जरूर, लेकिन दूसरों के कंधों पर।
怒りも痛みも止まらない爆速エクストリームアクション。
राक्षस हो तुम, राक्षस।
キル超覚醒。